I performed in over 100 TV shows, made millions of dollars, and everything came crashing down when I was told I had a year to live. It's not a joke.
Everybody wants their legacy, and I was not going to be around a long time, so I wanted something before I died. So I snagged Ben, or he snagged me.
Jonathan and I had been filming for 6 months, and then right before Jonathan was going to officially come out of retirement and do a kind of mini tour, coming out of retirement tour, that's when Jonathan, of course, let me know that there might be, someone else doing a very similar thing to me. There's a competition, right? So at that point, I either was going to give up and not pursue continuing my movie, or I was going to continue it, but ethically, to tell the truth, I had to include that part of the narrative into the movie. So at that point, I knew that I had to step in to kind of fully comment on that.
For people to think that it's faked, it's kind of a real compliment, don't you think?
I really love when people, after watching the movie, in a Q&A, they'll stand up and be like, how can we believe you? Like, this all seemed like it's...
Yeah, that's good.
I know, I love that.
That would hurt only if it was fake.
I know.
But I mean...
Like, I really feel like, okay, we must have done a really good job making this documentary, because people are questioning, well, is it real? And it is real. Like, all that shit happened.
I mean, I'm used to it, because my whole life has been that kind of has been real, because... I mean, let's face it, when you're a drug addict, all kinds of stuff is drawn toward you. You get caught up in all kinds of situations that would never, ever be believable, And but living with that and hearing that a lot, not just from the documentary, just like, you really did that, come on, that didn't happen. Yeah, it really did.
You're not only I guess, unfortunately, a drug addict, if you want to use that term.
I like that.
Sure. John, you're not only a drug addict.
Junkie, I like junkie too.
But you're also an illusionist, a magician, and a prankster. Like, all of those things combined is like a perfect storm for what am I experiencing? What are we getting? What's the audience getting? Is it real? Is it not? Like, it's hard to believe a drug addict. It's hard to believe a magician. It's like, in a good way.
Magicians aren't really like that. People say, can you trust a magician? Well, we don't. We're not untrustworthy.
But
we fool you.
Create deceptions.
With a deck of
honest
cards.
Liars, right?
Not with their life.
Do you remember the first email you ever sent to me?
No.
It's very short, very simple. So it ends with, if we just stick to the truth.
What's your point to this? What are you saying, Ben?
There was no limits. I wanted everything to be out in the open because, like I said, I didn't think I'd be around to see the documentary anyway. I thought I would be dead before it came out. And so I had no secrets. Now, I can't drive anywhere without getting pulled over. No.
But yeah, no, we began.
I wanted to be honest.
We began the process of, agreeing, hey, let's make this a very honest, very real reflection of Jonathan's life. Historically, I've worked in comedy television, directing and editing comedy TV, and I think that doing that certainly prepared me for elements of this documentary. And the movie ultimately it's very real, very sincere, very at times emotional, but also has a lot of comedic levity throughout. When we were filming this documentary, it's a question of, well, what is your ending going to be? Where are you going? If you're kind of blindly following this guy and following a couple other stories, how do you know you're done? And luckily we were able to, I think capture a pretty strong ending that not only kind of wraps up, the kind of modern day Jonathan story in a way, but wraps up, the struggles that I was going through. It comments on itself. It reflects both.
It's like being at your own funeral, and you don't think you're ever going to be alive to see that. But I got to see it 20 times. Now I wish I died. But no, it is weird because you got your audience, your family is sitting there watching it. My cousin who had just come out of rehab was invited to come along, and he saw me, his hero, Uncle Jonathan, doing drugs, and
really?
he went right back at it, and now he's dead.
No,
I'm kidding.
I want to go back on the road and do some more shows.
He associates the success with the drugs. What are we telling him to go back to?
It's not a good idea. What if he died on stage with people laughing because they thought it was part of his bit?
Do you think there's any chance fabricating his diagnosis.